Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Thank you very much for joining me. Our patient is an Acer Predator Helios 16. This is the one on which we replaced an EC chip because it was shorted. We replaced the chip, the short is gone, BQ chip is turning on. It turns on both transistors, but it doesn't charge. It doesn't charge, or no charging is explained by the communication with EC chip. EC chip seems to have been recovered from the board, so there's some programming in it. What we did, I got the BIOS from a LED farmer that is supposed to trigger the programming of the EC chip. But when we turn on the computer, the BIOS chip is not being powered. It doesn't get its, I think it's 1.8 volt or whatever, or 3.3. I think this one is 3.3. The voltage on the VCC pin is low. It's some like 20 millivolts or something like that. And when we prompt the 3.3 to boot, the voltage on the BIOS chip, it jumps to roughly 1 volt. So what's wrong with it? When we turn it on, the only component that is getting warm is this one. This produces LDO and controls these two coils on the left. This one produces 3.3, this one produces 5 volts. And it has two enable pins. One is this one, the other one is this one. Now this chip self turns on. This is our LDO output on this cap, and we go to the 10K resistor. Past 10K resistor, we go to enable 2 and enable 1, right? I'll show it to you on the board view in a second. But we get 3.3 volts over here and we get 0 over here. So these two lines are pulled low. There are only 3 things on this board that can pull this line low. So let's review it. So this is our chip. This is RT6575AG. And our LDO is over here. Right, this works pretty good. This is 10K resistor, and past the resistor, this line is called system shutdown. Now what can pull this line low? 3 things. Number 1, this chip. This chip will pull this pin low if the temperature goes above the one configured by these resistors here. We have 18.2K and they both go to ground, right? Yes. 18.2 and 18.2, 2 of them. But this one is with asterisk, so this one's probably unpopulated. So if our board overheats over here, we shut down. Second one is this transistor. This is NPN transistor. Base is on the first pin. This is collector. This is emitter. Emitter goes to ground, or well, somewhere, or this is, yeah, this is base, emitter, collector. Yeah. So if high signal comes here, then we're pulling this to this, and it looks like we're not pulling to ground, but that's not important. This is thermal shutdown coming from the CPU. So if the CPU overheats, it pulls this line high, which opens this transistor and pulls system shutdown low. Now, none of these are actually pulling the line low, and I confirmed that on the thermal camera. So what is the final third thing? If we flip the board, the EC chip that we replaced connects directly to pin 85, noted as sys shutdown. Now, according to the documentation, this pin does have a description, which I don't remember what it is, but I remember that it told me absolutely nothing. Now, here's what I'm thinking. There are two options. Option number one, the EC chip is faulty and this line is shorted. If that was the case, if I inject the voltage to that line to pull that line high with 2.9 volts, I consume roughly 50 milliamps, roughly 51 milliamps. If this was a shorted chip, I would expect a little higher energy consumption, a little higher current, because there's no resistor here, right? I'm pretty much injecting, when I prompt it, I pretty much inject over here on this resistor, on this pin, I inject the voltage. So it pulls this pin high and this pin high, which turns on coil number 1, 3.3 or 3 volts PCU. It turns on, it works, and the 5 volts over here, 5 volts PCU. Both turn on, so the chip, this chip is working correctly. It is doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it's being disabled due to this being low, system shutdown being low. So it's unlikely that the chip is faulty. I would not think that this is shorted chip. Plus, I do believe that they must be testing those chips. I mean, there is a possibility that the new chip has been received by some fulfillment center, and someone in that fulfillment center just took the new chip and replaced it with a faulty chip. It's theoretically possible, but I don't think anyone would want to actually do that. And not with these chips. They're not super expensive. I think it was around $20 for this chip, right? I can understand they do it with the GPUs and memory chips and that kind of stuff. They are significantly more expensive, but this one I wouldn't expect it. So here's what I'm thinking. This pin shutdown is being pulled low because the EC chip already has its own programming inside, and it detected perhaps that it's on a different platform. Now this is microcontroller, so the pins are actually the output pins and input pins. They can be programmed to do different things. So just because it's the same chip doesn't mean it's gonna work once we replace it and say we got it from Lenovo, which uses coincidentally the same chip. If we put it on Acer, doesn't mean, even though it's the same chip, it doesn't mean it's gonna work exactly the same, because programming might alter some pins. So perhaps this pin is pulled low by the software in the chip, and that's what causes the computer not to turn on. And without those two voltages, we're not gonna have a BIOS, the voltage on the BIOS. Now, as I inject voltage to prompt the 3 volts and 5 volts, the BIOS chip still doesn't have proper voltage, which is concerning because there might be actually something else on the board. But it could be explained that the EC chip is not sending some other enable signal to supply the BIOS chip. It's possible, but this chip is outside of my knowledge and experience. I don't know how it works, and it's huge. I don't have the ability, at the moment at least, I don't have the ability to program it. Now, how do you program it? There should be clock and data lines that go into it. We don't know which one these are because they're just called N and the net number. We have PCH clock, so this is probably communicating with PCH as the name suggests, and that kind of stuff. But other than that, I don't really see anything here that I would identify as, well, we have SPI, but is it, from what I've heard, this is not using SPI to program the flash on it. You use serial communication, and in addition, you use multiple lines. It's like 6 lines that connect to this chip. I'm not sure how that works. We have TP clock, TP data. Maybe this is one of those. Could be. I'm not sure how it works. Why would it require more than one serial communication? Perhaps each serial line programs or operates on a different region of the flash, or maybe there's multiple flashes in it, multiple chips in it, and each has its own data line and the clock. I don't know how it works. That's why I'm not gonna attempt to program it yet. I mean, we'll see. But at the moment, I'm reluctant to program it because, first of all, no hardware. I don't have the ability to put it on the adapter and put it in the programmer. The programmer I use is CH341, so I really doubt this programmer can actually program this chip. I mean, if it programs via SPI, then yeah, that's no issue, right? Even it also operates on I2C, so you know, if this is the typical serial connection and only one line is required, then maybe CH341 can actually do it, but I would doubt it. But that's not even main problem. The main problem is the actual adapter and what pins to connect where. We do have the LED farmer can extract the EC contents or the programming for the EC from the BIOS, so that's not a problem. The only problem is to just actually do it. But I'm not sure the chip actually is functioning. Not that I'm suspecting that it isn't, but I can't really guarantee. Now, if you want to see, well, actually I described it exactly what it is. You can take my word for it. We're not going to be measuring because I already spent so much time on this. And Dave, the owner, or long complicated story. He just wants to be done with this one. He's gonna sell it on eBay. So if you're interested in purchasing this, and most likely, if you program the EC chip, it might come to life. It is likely, if the EC chip is in fact working correctly. Everything seems like it. There's no short. Typically when the EC go bad, they typically go short. I've never seen any other fault on these other than short, and that's what was on the original one. But that's where we stand. So it's I'm not sure because we don't have the schematics, so we don't know what the power sequence is exactly, but it looks like the EC chip needs to not shut down the platform, otherwise the BIOS chip is not going to be powered, so the BIOS is not going to program the EC chip, so we're not getting there. Pressing the power button produces no result, no changes in power consumption. Power consumption is at around 0.7 watts, and that 0.7 is pretty much the entire power that goes to the to power the EC chip and to pull that line low. That's pretty much the entire power consumption. So this is it. If you're interested in acquiring this laptop for repair, let me know. Either I will list it for Dave or just return it to Dave and he'll list it on eBay. I would say it might still be repairable once you program the EC chip. That is at least my diagnosis. But if you have any ideas, definitely drop them in the comments. And if you wanna try this, or if you're a repair shop and you want to take this on, I'm sure we can figure something out. I don't know, it's Dave's decision, not mine, so we'll see. But that's pretty much it. It's technically no fix, but we've done so much to it that it's kind of a disheartening to just toss it on the pile, you know. The EC chip replacement, the reverse engineering, how the board turns on, the ID pin, all that stuff. A lot of work went into it, so I would like to see it working, but if we can figure it out, we can figure it out. It's you know, there's no shame in that. Not everything can be fixed, or not everything can be fixed by myself. Alrighty, fellas, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate you, and I shall see you in the next one.